Next up, we have someone who's been on the stage before doing comedy, Heather Townsend.
It's actually, Alan, my first time doing stand-up. And yes, if you're wondering, I am standing up. Now, I've always been short. In fact, my younger brother gave me his hand-me-ups. I look brilliant in his Cub Scout uniform. Now, I still fit my school uniform. I know. My husband loves it. I tell him to stand in the corner, I point out his spots, and I call him names. Now, I don't fit adult glasses, but I bet I'm the only 41-year-old that can really rock pink My Little Pony Ray-Bans. There's a reason I have a cue card. Now, some of you may have noticed, the observant ones, I've got blue hair. I think I'm having a late onset teenage rebellion. I think I need to grow up, metaphorically and physically. But when I was at school, I couldn't really rebel. In my sixth form, I went to a school with 400 boys and 6 girls. Ooh. There are some advantages to this. You never have to queue for the ladies' loo. I was never short of a date for the prom. And in the sex education class, I learnt how to feel my testicles for lumps and bumps. Now, when it came to the school dance, it didn't really work. You know, imagine the disco. Didn't work. Came to the slow dance. There were so many boys queued up. It was less of a tender embrace and more of a conga. But, well, you can imagine, us 6 girls, we ruled the roost. In fact, I could silence a class of 30 boys. All I had to say was one word. Period. Now, those of you who know me know that I like a man in uniform. Policeman, fireman, traffic warden. Now, my father-in-law is a retired firefighter, and he once took me on a tour of the station, and he thought I was interested in the machinery. Now, you know that I like a man in uniform. Now, my husband is a policeman. Okay, you've got dirty minds. I'm not doing any jokes on helmets, no jokes on truncheons. But imagine my dismay, my disappointment, when 2 years into our marriage, he went plain clothes. Now, you may have noticed I'm short. Well, he's 6'3". Look, I am not that height. His belly button is not an erogenous zone. But you could say that some women, they marry for money. Some women, they marry for love. I married so I could have a man to reach the top shelf of the supermarket. Now, we've gone on to have 2 very lovely kids. As you can expect, they are taller than me. They're only 7 and 8. In fact, my daughter gives me her hand-me-ups. I just look so good in her One Direction crop tops. Now, my kids have got to an age where they're asking me for some career advice. So my son came to me and he said, "Should I be a pilot?" And I said, "That's never going to take off." He then said to me, "What about being a chef?" I said, "That's a half-baked idea." I've got lots more. He then said to me, "What about starting a car business?" I said, That's going to fold overnight. You didn't get that one, did you? I won't repeat it, it's fine. So my daughter then said to me, why don't I become a baker? I said, that's a half-baked idea. So my husband, he then said, shall I have a change of career? He said, shall I be a helicopter pilot? And I said, there's no need, dear. You've already got a big chopper. Thank you very much. I've been Heather Townsend.
Heather Townsend. A perfect 5 minutes, Heather. Thank you so much. Very good indeed.